Hello, this is Tony Heller from RealClimateScience.com, talking about government climate extremes. 60 years ago, President Eisenhower gave a stern warning to the country. He said, "The prospect of domination of the nation's scholars by federal employment, project allocations, and the power of money is ever present and is gravely to be regarded." Yet in holding scientific research and discovery in respect, as we should, we must also be alert to the equal and opposite danger that public policy could itself become the captive of a scientific technological elite. Now let's take a look at a specific example of what President Eisenhower warned us about. This graph shows the Climate Extremes Index from the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. The red bars purport to show the summer extremes in maximum temperature. According to their definition, the red bars represent the percentage of the United States with summer maximum temperatures much above normal. I plotted their data out with the 10-year mean shown in red. According to NOAA, more of the country has experienced hot afternoon summer temperatures over the past decade than any other decade in history. But the NOAA Climate Extremes Index directly contradicts the data in the National Climate Assessment. According to the National Climate Assessment, the length of heat waves, their intensity, and the maximum temperature have greatly decreased since the 1930s. The blue dots on this map show that since 1986, most locations in the United States don't get anywhere near as hot as they did prior to 1960. Let's look at the data in more detail now. This graph shows the percent of NOAA United States Historical Climatology Network stations which reached 95 degrees Fahrenheit or 35 degrees Celsius sometime during the summer. 90 years ago, 93% of the country reached 95 degrees Fahrenheit during the summer. But the area of the country getting that hot has plummeted over the past 90 years, with this year being one of the lowest on record. It's likely that the numbers for this year will increase somewhat as August proceeds. But the trend over the past 90 years is sharply downwards, and now less than 2/3 of the country typically reaches 95 degrees during the summer. And we see the same pattern for 100-degree days. In 1936, almost 80% of the country reached 100 degrees Fahrenheit, but in recent years that's been much lower, less than half of the 1930s. The percentage of hot summer days has also plummeted. In 1936, almost half of days in summer in the United States were over 90 degrees. But in recent years, only about 1/4 of days are over 90 degrees in the United States. And we see the same pattern with 95-degree days and 100-degree days. During the 1930s, almost the entire country reached 100 degrees Fahrenheit, shown by the brown dots. The red dots show locations which reached 110 degrees Fahrenheit. They covered a very large segment of the United States. Climate alarmists now get hysterical when it reaches 110 degrees in the desert Southwest, but during the 1930s, 110-degree temperatures blanketed much of the United States. And the purple dots show 120-degree temperatures. North Dakota reached 121 degrees in 1936, and South Dakota reached 120. Now let's compare the incredible widespread heat of the 1930s to what's occurred since the year 2012. From 2013 to the present, much of the United States has not made it up to 100 degrees at any time. Only a small percentage of stations shown in red have reached 110 degrees over the past 9 years. But during the 1930s, 110-degree temperatures were seen over most of the country. It's very clear from NOAA's own temperature data and from the National Climate Assessment that the NOAA Climate Extremes Index is completely fraudulent. They claim that more of the United States was hit with hot weather over the past decade than any decade in the past. But NOAA's own data shows the exact opposite. The past decade has seen the least widespread hot weather of any decade since the 19th century. NOAA has taken the least widespread heat and tried to claim it represents the most widespread heat. This is exactly what President Eisenhower warned us about 60 years ago. Politicians who want to demonize fossil fuels have corrupted government science with huge amounts of money. Public policy has become the captive of a corrupt scientific technological elite. People who want to control the U.S. energy supply have corrupted government science. Toto will be making another video shortly which will show how NOAA has corrupted the temperature data. You can visit Toto, Kyrie, and Caesar on the web at realclimatescience.com.